EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to South Florida at Hard Rock Stadium here in Miami. The excitement brewing here in South Florida as a moment ago the Dolphins starters were introduced to this home crowd. They're fired up as well as they get set to match up with the Washington Redskins. Here's Jason Sanders now to get this one started, and we are underway from Miami. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. Now the first carry for Adrian Peterson. Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4. Peterson ended up having a really good year, over 1,000 yards, which was 8th in the NFL in rushing. Of course, he was signed after the injury to Darius Geis.
Yeah, that happened midway through the preseason. And he came in and blew them away in a workout, and they wouldn't let him leave Washington, D.C. And guess what? They saddled him up 1,042 yards. His 8,000-yard season, you have to include a 2,000-yard season in 2012. He's now 8th all-time in rushing yards at better than 13,000 and 5th all-time in rushing touchdowns with 106. You know what his dad nicknamed him as a kid?
All day.
You got it. AD doing his thing in D.C.
An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. From the gun, here's Smith. And he drops this off to Thompson, complete. And down he'll go at the 25. Give him 3 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. So on 4th down, the Redskins will call on Tress Way to punt it away. Back deep, Danny Amendola. This is taken at the 18. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And it'll be Dolphin football. Tannehill and the Dolphins break the huddle. Come up 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
Go, lady!
Now the former 4th-round pick, it's Kalen Ballage. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
One thing rookies need to learn at this level, and quick. Make a cut, be decisive, and go. Because in college, you could dance around and wait for a hole to open because you're probably a better athlete than most of the guys on the field, but not on the NFL level.
Right. 30!
Toss play to Ballage. And he goes across the 20 to the 22. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7.
But you've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
Tag.
Throwing on third down, Tannehill. And it's caught by Parker. And he will have the first down, but he winds up taking a pretty good shot that time. Tannehill with a hook up to Parker for the Dolphin first. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They run it with Balazs. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
The best play callers in any league know how to break their tendencies. They study themselves, they self-scout, and they realize most of the time you don't call a draw play on 1st and 10. So every so often you insert that play just to make the defense think, even if it's not successful.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
2 running plays go backwards, so what's the call on 3rd and 13 now? To throw is Tannehill. And that is incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
On 4th down, Matt Hawk to punt it away. Back deep for the Redskins, Jamison Crowder. And this will be taken at the 13. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And it'll be Redskins football now with a 1st and 10. Well, partner, let's look ahead to the NFC Championship game while we got a second. Sunday, 3 Eastern, Rams, Saints. What do you think about that matchup?
I'm loving the matchup, and it's right back at the site where they played in the regular season. And the Saints got out to a 21-point lead, and the Rams reeled them in before the Saints won it by 10 down the stretch. Here's where I think the biggest matchup of the game is. Marcus Peters, corner for the Rams, against Michael Thomas, receiver of the Saints. In the last game, Michael Thomas really got over on him, over 200 yards receiving. And the Saints said that was the game plan to attack Marcus Peters. He vowed it would be different if they met again. Here's his opportunity this Sunday.
Second and 10, Smith again. A deep ball for Dotson. And that is caught one-handed. Oh, my, he pulled it in. A big play there, Smith to Dotson, 54 yards. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a 1st down in the red zone. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll lose yardage here. They go backwards to the 13-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. Out of the gun, Smith. And he can't hang on. That's definitely going to be one he wishes he had back. Incomplete in the end zone.
I know you felt like saying touchdown there, didn't you, partner? That looked like a sure 6 points, but the contact jarred it free.
Got his hands on it, could not hold on through the end of the play.
Hey, back up, back up, back up, back up.
3rd and long, it's Smith. throw screen. It's complete. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
I love the intelligence the defense just showed there. Read their keys, saw the screen developing, ran to it, and smothered it. What a third down stop by them.
Back live, Charles Davis to my right. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Redskin football to begin quarter number 2. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it.
15. Let's go. 15.
They snap it to Smith. And this is intercepted, but they'll say out of bounds. Oh, very close to a turnover there in the end zone. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Dolphins' defense is able to hold. For the Miami Dolphins, Charles, you think back to last year. They stayed in it much of the season. Week 14, that shocker on the final play versus the Patriots kept their playoff hopes alive. But ultimately, they didn't make the playoffs. Going to have a new head coach. What do you think moving forward?
And weren't we all surprised after that win against the Patriots that they lost their last 3 games? And as you noted, cost Adam Gase's job. This team has not won a playoff game since December 30th, 2000. Head coach, Dave Wanstead. Quarterback, Jay Fiedler.
Wow.
That's a long time ago. They've got to find a way to correct that, and they'll be doing it with new administration up.
And now look at him go. The 30. And he makes it all the way down to the 13-yard line. It's a big play there for Miami. 67 yards. So from their own 20 all the way to the red zone now. A chance to capitalize on 1st and 10. They'll run here with Balaj. And this play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back to the 15. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
So the myth has been shattered. Every cornerback in the league is not just a cover corner. Some of them will stick their nose in there and make plays exactly as we just saw there. A big loss suffered by the offense after that nice tackle.
Now Balaj. And able to surge forward for about 5 yards down to the 10.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Here's Tannehill. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th. Jason Sanders now for the Miami field goal. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. The kick by Sanders is good. And the Dolphins will jump out to a 3-0 lead. So still no touchdowns in the first half, but we do have some action on the scoreboard with the field goal.
So maybe now the mentality changes in this game because anytime you can get to the red zone, disappointment.